The son of Seth Brundle, yep, Brundlefly, spends his life trying to reverse his gene mutation. Sound cool? Good, because I'm here to talk about The Fly 2 from 1989. The Fly 2 was directed by Chris Wallace, who didn't direct a ton of stuff and was mostly known for his special effects work on films like Gremlins, Enemy Mine, and David Cronenberg's The Fly from 1986. So we have a case here of special effects guy, from the original directs the sequel. It's been done before. I assumed this was a total cash grab, as are most horror sequels, but then I remembered that the original Fly with Vincent Price had two sequels. So what's wrong with that? And this movie isn't too bad. In fact, I liked it quite a bit. The Fly 2 was written by Mick Garris, Jim Wheat, and Ken Wheat. It stars Eric Stoltz as Martin Brundle and Daphne Zuniga as Beth Logan, a woman who Martin meets since she works for the company that monitors him. So basically, I like Eric Stoltz, first of all, and he's really good here. Daphne Zuniga is really good too. They're really good together. So basically, Martin he's born into a lab. His mom, who was Seth Brundle's girlfriend from the original Fly, I don't remember her name. She's in this at the beginning. I think it's played by a different actress. I could be wrong. I don't remember for sure. But anyway, he's born. Doctors aren't really they don't really know what to expect. Like, is he going to be a human? Is he going to be a weird creature? So he comes out looking like and I'm like, oh man, he's a monster from the start. But it turns out like he's in this creepy looking sack. But the doctors open it up and it's pretty tense. And they pull out a beautiful looking normal baby boy. So you're like, okay, that's all right. And he basically grows up in this lab. They constantly monitor him. They have determined that, like his father, he, by taking a look at his genes and stuff, eventually he is going to mutate. And they basically lie to him his whole life. They tell him that they're giving him these injections that keep him from mutating. But it turns out, I'm not trying to spoil too much, but it turns out it was just a placebo. It was literally water. They were injecting him with water. And they're like, yeah, eventually you're going to mutate like your dad did. But Martin has been like kind of continuing his dad's work, and he has basically determined that he can stop his gene mutation, but he basically needs another human as a lab rat, basically. Seth Brundle had the machine from the original Fly. This machine right here that he uses to I don't know, gene splice and stuff like that. And so, anyways, Martin determines that he basically just needs another human, but that human will not, likely won't survive. So, since he's a good dude, morally he's not willing to do it. He's not willing to, sacrifice another human being just for his own use. And he eventually finds out, that they've been lying to him all along, and he ends up escaping the laboratory to go and find this dude that worked with his dad. And he's the dude from the original Fly. He's the guy that gets really fucked up by Brundle. You might remember the part where like Seth vomits on his hand and completely eats his hand off, like vomits on his foot or something, and his foot falls off. And I'm pretty sure I assumed that guy died, but I haven't seen the original, I haven't seen the Cronenberg Fly for a good while. But yeah, I assumed that dude had died. But anyway, he's alive. Martin goes to find him, thinking like, this guy is my only hope. Like if anyone has information that can help me, it's gonna be this guy, and I might as well give it a shot. So him and Beth end up going out to this guy's house, and and the dude is like, he's kind of bitter. Like, obviously he hates Seth Brundle for what he did to him, and he's like, I got no love for your dad, man. But you can tell the guy's like, he's rational, and he's like, all right, this kid is not his dad. He's not the same person. I can tell he's probably a good kid. But he basically tells him that I can't help you. But he ends up giving him his vehicle so they can escape and not be chased by the police. Martin comes up with an alternate plan to stop his gene mutation. By this point, by the way, I didn't really mention, but by this point, he's already started to turn. And once he starts turning, I mean, it happens pretty quick. It's like a few day process. Every day, he's that much closer to being, you know, a second version of Brundlefly. And I gotta say, so I absolutely love all the practical effects in the original Fly. And they're really good in this movie too. I did not check to see who worked on it, who did the effects, if it's any of the people from the Cronenberg Fly. I should have done that research. I forgot. But yeah, they look really good, and I like how Martin's transformation looks. It looks different from Seth's transformation. I was kind of worried that it would just be the same exact thing because, I mean, these movies are pretty similar. This one doesn't do. It's like a cut and dry sequel. It's kind of, I mean, it's kind of everything you would expect. That said, I mean, there aren't a whole lot of surprises in this, but that said, it's a really good movie. And there are some nice twists. But anyways, so I expected Martin's transformation to look, I just thought he would look exactly like, you know, the way his dad did. And they made it different. Again, the practical effects look great. And when he becomes his own version of Brundlefly, he looks very different from the way his dad looked. And I thought that was cool, too. Despite having, you know, similar genes, their, you know, overall transformation, the creature that they became, yeah, looks different. I liked the Brundlefly here. Not as much as the first one, but that's not to knock it by any means. I think it's a great practical creature in its own right. There's some great gore in this. You don't get any gore. I mean, you get a little bit of gross stuff, you know, with his transformation, but you don't get any gore or any kills or anything until the last, you know, until well into the third act. But it is very worth it. There are some, and there's only a couple of gory scenes, but they're great practical gore, super gross, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be a gross gore fest throughout the whole movie because it's an engaging movie. You're not bored. You're not sitting there like, oh man, I haven't seen anyone die yet. What the fuck's going on? Similar to the first Fly, you don't see anything gross until at least halfway through. Maybe even, if not into the third act. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen it. One of my favorite movies, but shit, I don't think I've seen it for a decade. But so anyway, similar to that, you know, you get the most of the gross gore stuff is packed into the third act, which makes it a hefty third act. And it's got a great twist at the end. I won't spoil that because I really would recommend this to any fan of The Fly. I waited a long time to see this just because I figured it was a cash grab sequel that I didn't need to see, but I think it's pretty fair to say I loved it. I just enjoyed it thoroughly. It's not as good as the original, or I mean, I keep saying the original, or wanting to say the original. It's not as good as the Cronenberg Fly, but it's still a damn good sequel. I loved Eric Stoltz. He did a great job, and it's a very worthy sequel. I never really see it come up, and that might be just because it is kind of a pointless sequel. Didn't really need to exist. And initially, I mean, more or less, it probably was a cash grab, but it's a worthy sequel. Again, totally, I liked it. Any fan of sci-fi horror, check it out. I didn't really think of a score I would give it prior to this. I think I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 just off the fly. Off the fly. Really cool movie. Great practical effects. Just enjoyed it. It's a fun watch. Totally watch it. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. Do you think it's a pointless cash grab? Do you think it's really good? Do you think it's not that great? Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear that, you know, your thoughts, because like I said, I really haven't ever seen or heard anyone talk about this personally. I liked it a lot. I would totally watch it again. I'm going to go back now and probably watch the Cronenberg Fly because I love it. I haven't seen it for a long time, and I'm going to watch the Vincent Price Fly movies because I haven't even seen all three of those, to be honest. I have this, I guess I'll show it now. I have this Fly collection. Came out through Scream Factory. It's a Blu-ray set. I've shown this before on my channel, but man, this thing is super nice. It has all the Fly movies. If you want to know what the Brundlefly looks like in this movie, here's kind of he looks like that. Pretty cool, right? Not as good as the Seth Brundlefly, but still pretty cool. So what you get in here, Fly 2 Blu-ray. You get the Fly Blu-ray, Cronenberg, and then you got the Vincent Price ones. Well, is he? He's not in the original. Yeah, no, he is. He's in the original. I think he's in all three. Fly, Return of the Fly, and Curse of the Fly. I thought maybe he wasn't in Curse of the Fly. I could be wrong. I don't see his name in the credits here. Yeah, so I think he's only in the other two. But damn good set. If you can find this at a good price, I got it. I'm not gonna say super cheap, but I got it like at a discounted price. So I got it. It was a steal for me. I was gonna buy it anyways, but I'm glad I saved a couple bucks. Yeah. So let me know what you think about the Fly 2. Obviously, I'm sure if you're watching this, you're a fan of the Cronenberg Fly. So let's talk about it. Hope you guys are doing well. We'll talk soon. Cheers.